Well, very good day everybody. Welcome to another video. It will be a live stream and we're actually starting mid-flight. Let me quickly do a little sound check. Alright, so the sound is beautiful. Do not change it. It will be awesome. Alright man, so welcome very much to the channel everybody. And today will be something interesting. We just did an entire flight from Amsterdam, Netherlands airport to Boston, the United States of America. We've been flying real world time and real world weather. We did not skip anything, took naps in between and all that stuff. And yeah, so today this is actually the first time that I flew the PMDG 777-300ER, which recently released on the 25th of June. It's the first time I'm actually flying this, so I took off from Amsterdam, then went to cruising, and then took some naps. And now after the naps, we're getting ready for our descent. We're about 170-180 nautical miles from our top of descent, as you can see there. Most of the things have been set up. So let's have a look outside at the aircraft for a second. And this is it. Finally it has arrived. People have been waiting for this for a very long time. And here it finally is. There's already been an update today, I believe, but I did not install it yet. In any case, welcome to the channel. I am your personal funky sim pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko, and I will be your captain for today's flight. Now, today's flight will be something a little bit different than usual. Usually we have the entire flight, and as I said earlier, basically I left the simulator running after takeoff and during cruise. Took some nice little nap, and after feeling some sort of level of accomplishment of taking naps while the aircraft and the simulator were doing their thing, I figured, you know what, since this is my first flight, I have never landed this before, so let's just go ahead and stream this live and share it with all of you. So we can either have a really good laugh and talk about it during Christmas dinner, or maybe just have some fun. And probably both are the same anyway. So let's just see how it goes. So most of the things have been set up. We are about 170 nautical miles from our top of descent into Boston Logan International Airport in the United States. But this, she's quite a beauty, I must say. A really big motherfucker. The 777-300ER. You got all these nice little, you know, sunscreens if you want. You know, if you feel like zombie mode, you know, you can change them around a little bit. We've done this during the cruise a little bit after I came back from the napping. And yeah, there's not a whole lot I can tell you about it. There's a bunch of interesting tutorial videos out there by some of the big pilots. They have some interesting ways of getting the information out, you know. They have very good tutorials. Matweo, how are you doing, man? Matweo says, hello, is the seats in the cockpit also simulated? I don't know, man. At least I do not get the feeling that I'm standing. If that's what you're talking about. But let me show you a little bit. I'm not sure to what level of animation you are referring, but in any case, obviously you can play around with the armrest there, you know. But I do not believe that it is possible to actually get to pull the chair back. You know, you can see these little rails here, and as far as I know, there is no option to actually do that. Did see a little click spot somewhere, but it's probably just this again. No, so I don't think that is. I don't think the pushback of the chair, if you will, is simulated at all. Don't know if they're planned on doing it, but hey, it's a nice little aircraft in any case. I'm perfectly happy with it. Alright, so top of descent is definitely coming. We were cruising at 380, flight level 380. We have already descended a little bit to flight level 340. As per the legs page, in 86 nautical miles we should be arriving at TUSKY, where it should be flight level 340, and after that we basically will start our descent to EURRO, 10,000 feet or above. Ocean, what is that actually a D for Delta? Is it Ocean? I think it's Ocean. So Ocean, 14,000 feet, below 14,000 feet and above 9,000 feet, and so on, all the way down. We did enter the rest of the sequence as well. So this will take us basically on a, well, this doesn't probably make sense to you looking at it like this, but I believe, let's see, from Leasy is the end of the initial approach, and then we turn left towards Noli, and I can show you maybe here on the plan page. Start to make probably a little more sense. Let's zoom in. There. So we're basically the initial approach ends at Leasy, and from there basically we should get there's the little arrows on the screen on the map, right? So that always means that you get you can expect vectors from ATC, but we're not flying live at all. Well, at least not on VATSIM. So I just entered Noli as the first, the initial approach fix, and then the rest was already in there. So YA in Volcus is where the glide slope starts. The information for the ILS is already in the NATB page as well. So ILS frequency for runway 22 left at Boston Logan will be 110.30, and a heading of 215 degrees. So all that stuff is in there as well. And so basically what we're doing now is waiting our descent clearance, if you will. And we're obviously going to clear ourselves, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's a Boeing, so I do fly the Boeing 737 on the channel, so it's not like totally new. But at the same time, it's still much bigger aircraft, and it will, you know, be interesting to see how this is going to work out. I've been flying a lot of general aviation aircraft lately, so yeah, it might be a challenge. It's very interesting to see. Hopefully, we're getting a perfect touchdown, you know. But you know, as long as we have some fun, it's all good with me. Just stay funky, you know what I mean. So for now, there's not, I believe, a whole lot we can do. I could maybe see if we can pull up the Navigraph. Oh, and by the way, I did for the during the cruise while I was taking a nap, I did turn down the looking for the word here, the graphical settings to the lowest, because I was getting some poor frame rates, mainly probably also caused by actually don't even know the name, but of one of the plugins that I've been using for real world AI aircraft, you know. That's probably hogging quite a lot of resources as well. Alright, so this is the flight that we've been doing. Let's import it. Can I just click it? Will it import it like that? Looks like it. We can hide the left side here, or maybe not yet. Let's also get the charts now first for the final approach. But that's actually already in there as well. Oh, that's a good excuse to take a little sip of my iced tea. There, lubrication. So we can hide the panel here on the left. Yeah, so basically we took off from Amsterdam, got up into the air, and flew, and napped, and napped, and napped some more, and then I believe woke up, I don't know, around here or somewhere. I remember looking out of the window when I saw land, and I was thinking, oh, it's probably, probably like somewhere in between, but as you can see, there's no land anyway. But it was Canada. So right now we are approaching TUSKY, and yeah. So let's have a look here. The final approach chart. Maybe let's check this one first. So this is the initial approach. You can see I drew some little boxes on it for myself. This is the route that we're going to be flying. So we go to EURRO and to Ocean, and then on to Giorgio, BERGI, Ada, and Lisi. And then from Lisi you have these little arrows. These arrows basically mean you will be vectored by ATC, but we're not using ATC. So we're going to follow our perfectly drawn yellow line there from Lisi. And then basically what we did, we took the final approach fix, or the initial approach fix, I guess, the Noli. Excuse me, I've been sitting in air conditioning a little too much. So Noli, and then from then we'll just follow the final approach onto runway 22 left. We have a minimums of 200 feet radio altitude. We entered that as well, and you can see that right there. That radio is 200. We've entered those as well. And the glide slope starts at 1700 feet. And well, that is about it. I'm not worried about going around. That might be stupid, but one step at a time. So let's get rid of this and let's focus here. We have about 90 nautical miles or so to go until the top of descent. The TUSKY is coming up there. So I have no clue how the aircraft is going to behave on descent. So we'll just going to have to see and work it out while we go. So maybe we could get up out of the chair and maybe have a look around. I mean, I'm sure by now everybody will have seen all the available videos. But check this sound. The change of sound here is totally amazing. I'm just quickly speaking of sound. Okay, so the change of sound is really interesting. It sounds absolutely different here, and this changes throughout the entire cabin. Once you reach, so this is the business class section, and then once you go behind the engines, it will sound a lot louder, I believe. So the business class definitely looks very nice. I would not mind sleeping here for about 7 hours or something. I believe it's like a 7-hour flight or so. I have the little galley. And then you have the second bit of business class. And comes economy. And you can see the engine right there. Let's have a look out of the window. It's something that's actually really cool. You can see the engine actually wobble a little bit sometimes, which is totally awesome. And you can see the wings flexing too. Let's try and get some sort of proper angle here. But obviously now there's not a lot happening. It's basically just chilling here at 340,000 feet. But yeah, and then so let's get up again. Now hopefully one day you can just import movies and just watch your Netflix here or something, You can hear now when we go behind the engines, you can hear the sound is definitely changing. So that's a real nice attention to detail by PMDG. And yeah, you know, it's a big aircraft. It holds like over 300 people, I believe 340 or something, depending on, you know, the airline as well and the configuration, but it can take a lot of people. So let's just zoom back into the flight deck here. Let's have a look at what's going on. So 80 nautical miles to the top of descent. Yeah, and then we should actually start paying attention a little bit more, because at some stage things are going to follow up rather quickly. Hopefully everything will be okay. In short, I believe what we'll just do is do a step descent, so to 10,000 feet and then to 9,000, I believe it was, and 7,000 and all that stuff. And we should mind our speed as well. So we have the speed constraints in here, 257, 250, 240, 240. So we should also watch the flap settings here and the tape on the left. And at some stage when we take a left turn to reach from Lisi to Noli, we're taking a left turn, and we should then watch the landing system for the ILS, so that we can actually engage the localizer to intercept the localizer. Once the localizer is intercepted, we're going to watch for the glide slope to be intercepted and to be displayed on the primary flight display there. And then once we have glide slope, we will arm the approach button as well, and we will fly the approach. I'm not sure actually. Let's have a look for the approach speeds. I suggest we do flap 30 just to be on the slow side. I think we can just select it here and then click again. Does this work like this? I'm not really sure now. I'm not really sure. But in any case, if we do a... oh wait, I should probably... There you go. Alright, so we basically confirmed now that we will be landing at flap 30 degrees, and our approach speed will be 138 knots. So yeah, let's just go back to the legs page. We have passed TUSKY and are now on our way to EURRO. And the top of descent is still saying it's a little further ahead. But yeah, man, this baby's been flying for, I don't know, 5.5 hours, maybe 6 hours already. I did not really count, so I'm not too sure. Basically, you know, I just took off and went to cruising, and then went and take a nice little nap and dream about my girlfriend. Some interesting QOL things like quality of life changes that PMDG did. So you can see the landing lights are now off. So instead of like having to do them all manually, one by one, you can just click here on the word landing, just turn them all on off. Same goes for the runway turn off lights. So that's pretty convenient, because you know, most of the times us flight simmers are just doing this on our own. Whereas in a real aircraft, you'll be sitting with a colleague there as well, you know. So that makes things a little bit easier, but there is still the option to actually do it like one by one, individually, you know, like the real thing. And yeah, so that's something I definitely appreciate that they did that. We can leave the seatbelt signs on auto for now. We'll turn them on once we start, after we start our descent, and we'll be around, I don't know, flight level 250 or maybe just 10,000 feet, whatever, we'll see. Now, in terms of the middle display here, you have like checklists. It's pretty interesting. So the next checklist up is the descent. I'm not really sure which is the recall button. Maybe there's no messages to recall, but I would believe it's this one right here. But maybe there's no messages to recall. Not really sure about that. And then after that, notes. I'm not really sure what they mean about notes, so just going to skip that. Auto brake should be set. And then landing data, so the VLF, any minimums. So we've basically looked at that already. And approach briefing should be completed. Well, the approach briefing, I think we basically covered. We'll just be flying the initial approach, and then the final approach. We have everything set up, so that should work out fine, at least in theory. So yeah, so maybe one day I'll do an entire flight streaming, like a long haul. I don't know, who wants to listen to my voice for like 7 hours, you know what I mean. So maybe just do some shorter flights, like 4 hours or whatever. I don't know, it doesn't matter. As long as we have fun, as long as I have fun, it's the most important, And if you like to join in, that's even cooler. Okay, so you see the top of the sand there glitching around. That's interesting. So it's deciding, am I there or am I there? Am I there or am I there? Let's see what this does. I don't know why it's doing that. Poor top of the sand. In any case, it is catching our attention. Maybe it's meaning it is actually getting very close to the top of the sand. I'm not really sure. I've decided on something there. Okay. Let's just zoom in a little bit more. It's still 40 nautical miles out. Now, to do the step descent, so 10,000 feet or above, 9,000 feet or above, let's just dial in 9,000 feet. Let's dial in 10,000 feet, not 9,000. We should remain at 10,000 feet when reaching EURRO. So what we can do now, we can just select 10,000 feet, because I'll show you in a second. Select 10,000 feet. We pre-select it. We don't do anything yet. The aircraft is following VNAV path. So it should, once it reaches top of descent, the aircraft should automatically start descending to 10,000 feet, which we have armed right there. That's what I understand of it. And yeah, we'll just see how this sucker descends. I understood that the speed brakes are very effective in the aircraft. There's some little message here. What is it saying? Insufficient fuel. You got to be fucking kidding me. Let's have a look at the fuel page. That would be seriously funny. Let's see, fuel. .9, 5.5, total fuel of 10.4. Do we have a fuel prediction page here? I believe that's in the Airbus. Must be something similar. Progress. Fuel 9.7 at EURRO, 9.6, 8.6. So we might have not quite enough fuel to divert to JFK, which is the alternate airport. Looking at this, we will be landing with 8.6 tons of fuel. Yeah, so not too sure. Not too sure about that. Insufficient fuel. So now, if we accept it, do we accept this, or is it only? This is like, no. What is this? reject or reject. It could be for that middle screen there. But anyway, so let's just keep it on then. So the aircraft is saying insufficient fuel. It's always interesting. And obviously in a bit we will start descending anyway, which will hopefully use up less fuel because the engines should go on idle. So let's keep an eye on that. Zoom in a little bit more. So we're about 18-17 nautical miles from the top of the set. So while we're watching this, let's have some more in-flight entertainment. Yeah, they call me the funky ship pilot. I don't know why. I don't know why. But they do call me the funky ship pilot. We're chilling here. We're chilling here at 340. Alright, that's enough of that. So let's see if the aircraft's going to descend on its own now. Getting very close to the top of descent. Speed L0 VNF path. Speed is going down. And there's the approach profile. So will it follow? Speed L0 VNF path. I'm hoping to see the vertical speed going down, and that is not doing it quite yet. We're 70 nautical miles from EURRO. At the same time, okay, there you go, idle. The speed here in the primary flight display, so the engines are now going idle. So I think momentarily we can expect to see a drop in our vertical speed. As you can see, going right now, going through 1,000 feet per minute and increasing. And there goes our altitude, and we are a little below our descent profile. I'm not really too experienced with this bit here that you see in the navigational display. Yeah, but if you do understand, well, then you have some readout there as well. But anyway, so it looks like we're descending. See how this is going to work out. We're on our way to 10,000 feet. There's there's actually speed constraint of 257 knots. We'll just see how it goes. So we have the reference speed here as well, actually, flap 30 and 138 knots on the final approach. So the flaps we have, the flaps are now up. We have 1, 5, 15, 20, 25 and 30, so we're going full flaps on the landing. So the current time is 17:24 Zulu, and let's see, progress page, what our time of arrival will be 17:50. So that is in about 35 minutes. No, 25 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. 50, yep. Alright, so a very good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. As you can maybe see, we have started our descent to our destination of Boston Logan International Airport. Well, we should be arriving there in approximately 20 to 25 minutes. The local temperature will be 20 degrees centigrade, and there will be a few clouds, but it looks like overall the weather will be fine. And please remain seated. The fasten seatbelt signs will be turned on momentarily. And hope you enjoyed your flight. And on behalf of the entire crew and KLM, thank you for flying. And stay funky. Alright, so we addressed. So not really sure actually what buttons to press for that. Let's check the radio panel. Probably PA. Probably this. Hello, check 1 2. Can you hear me in the back? That's probably that. We should actually have these on this side. And what am I doing here? And the lower one. Wait. I don't know. I'm confusing myself, man. Anyway, doesn't matter. At least we started our descent, and yeah, we're streaming it live, so that's also interesting. The fun part is if it goes well, then I can watch it again. And if it goes bad, I can also watch it again and learn from it. Right, so about 20 minutes to go. 20-25 minutes. So 28,000 feet. And looks like if you check the magenta triangle there, it looks like we are sort of on our descent profile basically, so that so far so good. So let's increase the range here on the navigational display and raise our situational awareness a little bit. So next up will be EURRO, then ocean. Let's go to the next page. EURRO, ocean, Giorgio. EURRO, ocean, Giorgio, and then, well, the rest is still like a white blob. The local QNH, maybe we should do an update on the weather. Is there a way to refresh, or do we just do this and will not auto refresh? Yeah, so we have 3021, and it will be 21 degrees. 3021, we are 3020, I mean, but we were at 3021. So let's change that. You can see here pre-dialed 3021, so that will now become 3020. And I believe they're synced on both sides, which is a little better for the workload when you're doing all this by yourself. And when you're doing it by yourself, you don't need what's on that display there anyway, but it's nice to try and simulate that as well. Insufficient fuel. I think it looks fine. Let's check outside for a second. So 1 second please. I'll have to send a little message here. still on the descent profile, 32,000 feet. Unfortunately, when I took off from Amsterdam, I did not turn on the timer or anything, so I have no clue how long we've been flying. But it should be around, I believe the total flight time was around 7 hours or so. But you know, with a lot of naps involved, for me it's probably only 3. Okay, so 21,000 feet. So next stop will be 10,000 or above at 257 speed constraint. And the everybody's favorite PMDG pen. You can get all OCD on this. So, but I must say, man, it does feel cool to have this long haul. You know, you take off somewhere, you fly for hours, and seamless, you know, in the flight sim, and that's totally amazing. Real world, you know, like real time, actually, I should say, you know. It's so awesome. And Flight Simulator has always been like that. You know, you know, I believe if you enter the flight plan into the simulator, like from the simulator itself, then there is a button here upstairs that you can use travel to. But if I press it now, there is no flight plan set, there is nothing to travel to, which I actually like anyway. You know, you have more control over things as opposed to doing it from the flight sim. Looks like we are a little bit above the descent profile. Should be arriving at EURRO in about 3 minutes. So then next stop will be 9,000 and not below. And then below 9,000. So we will then just go to 7,000 feet. So we're crossing 18,000, so the standard button should start blinking any moment now. So we should then switch over to the local QNH of 3020. It is not flashing yet, I don't know why, because we are actually on standard, and there you go, the standard is now yellow, so it's not flashing, but it's yellow. So we just press the standard button, toggle basically, and we are now 30, flying on local QNH, 3020. Still a little bit above descent profile, but it is coming up. 17,000 feet, and we have 8 nautical miles to go, so at least we are above 10,000 feet in any case. Well, probably still good. Alright, man, we're ready for the next event. 3 nautical miles from EURRO, it's 15,000. Maybe it's a good time to turn on the seatbelt signs. I believe the descent is looking okay. The speed constraint was 275, now it was 250. Below 14,000 feet at ocean and above 9,000 feet. And we are 5.4 nautical miles from ocean. And it says above 9,000 feet. So we're going to change the altitude now to 9,000 feet. So it will not stop at 10,000 feet. It will keep on descending to 9,000. And by the looks of it, we might not even make 10,000 feet at ocean anyway. Let's increase our zoom a little bit. And then we have the leg ocean to Giorgio, where we should be below 9,000 feet. So after ocean, we will select 7,000 feet. So we are meeting these constraints, except maybe the speed, because we are still a little bit high, but speed is decreasing. So not really sure if we should have put the speed brakes maybe, but you know, small steps. Okay, so we're now on our way to Giorgio, where we should be below 9,000 feet, and then comes 7,000. So we're just going to go for 7,000 immediately. So the VNAV path will just keep on descending the aircraft to an altitude of 7,000 feet. And we will be there in also about 3 minutes. Let's have a little sip of the iced tea lemon. To keep things nice and lubricated, you know what I mean. Look at that, that's the United States. So as I said earlier, I did reduce the graphic settings all the way to low. So it might actually be a challenge to see the runway. We're just going to have to trust our senses, I guess, because I am really not sure if it's going to be laggy at all. Because I should not have loaded up the I forget the name, but the one of the modifications that I'm using that's using like real world AI aircraft. Maybe let's just look at, let me find the name for you, because I always forget. Sure if I can find it. Okay, never mind. Let's just stay focused here. Okay, so we're passing 10,000 feet. So let's turn on all the external lights. So the landing lights and the runway turn-off lights, taxi lights, they all go on. So if we look outside, well, it's daylight, so it's not very clear to see, but I trust they are on. Seatbelt signs are on as well. So let's just have a look at the checklist now. So we have the recall checked, notes checked, auto brake. We will set the auto brake. Let's just go for auto brake 3. I believe I saw it somewhere, maybe in the EFB, I'm not sure. Landing data we checked. We will landing at flaps 30 and a VREF of 138 knots. Approach briefing completed. And what is the next one? Descent, so the next one will be the approach. Altimeters, we can check that as well. We have set 3021, which is the current QNH. And then landing, speed brake armed. Landing gear down. Oh, what is this message? Cabin is ready. I guess that's it. Auto brake 3. Letting it down, flaps 30. Alright. Alright, so we're almost at 7,000 feet, which is where we should be at BERGI, and then we should go to 6,000. So let's go dial in 6,000 right now, and we just keep this sucker on descending. Alright. Okay, so we're getting really close. Lazy 6,000 as well. And then we go to first 3,000 or above, and then 1,700 feet. Okay. So 6,000. So let's wait until we reach 6,000. Speed's 240. So we're definitely speeding here. Let's see. What happens if we extend the speed brakes a little bit? That is a little slow there. Oh wait, that doesn't seem to work. You go back, okay. Okay, so 3.2 nautical miles from Lazy, and then we'll take a left turn to Noli. And I think we can then dial in 3,000 basically. So we're now at 6,000 feet. Holding at 220 knots, which is a little fast. We should be at 210. I don't know why it's not doing that. Let's see what's saying here. Speed LNAV and VNAV path. Excuse me. Okay. Insufficient fuel warning. Okay, so we go to 3,000 feet now. We just press this button there, and we should start descending to 3,000 now. And you know, that's what I said, at some stage things will start going really quickly. So we're now on the final turn basically, and we should be getting ready. We can maybe turn on the 3,000. Turn on the localizer button. So you can see here in white, localizer is armed. We can do flap 1. Let's have a look at the speeds. Noli 210, 206, 170 at focus. Let's see how this is going to go, man. It's going to be my first landing in the PMDG Boeing 777-300ER. Localizer still armed, but it's not yet captured. 5,100 feet. And I can't wait for Microsoft flight simulator to implement a proper what's the word, man? A replay, you know, like a replay function. There is something with which you have to go to experimental mode and all that stuff, you know, developer mode. It's just nice if they make it sleek, you know, make a sleek design, just like they did in the old days, which worked perfectly. So 210 knots, below a little bit. We are captured by the localizer, so that's good news. And as a true ADHD pilot, I'm rolling another cigarette again on the final approach after like a really long flight. We are still descending to 3,000 feet, so that bit is okay. So next up, let's check the speed. I like the sound of the engines, man. It's not really descending to 3,000. No, it is. It's just going really slow. Okay, so what's the speed that we should be having? 210 knots, and then weighing 206, and then 3,000 feet or above. But we're still on our way to Noli first. I do not see the glide slope for the ILS indicator yet. I'm expecting it here, I believe. I do not see that yet, so, but we are 40 nautical miles out from the airport. There you go, there it is. That's the magenta, what you call that shape in English? A diamond. So we're now at Noli, and then next up is Wayne, where we should be 3,000 feet or above, and then next up will be 1,700 feet, which is where the glide slope will start. So hopefully we'll be getting a good touchdown, a successful touchdown. That would obviously always be cool. So again, my apologies for the graphics. I believe we have the runway in sight. It looks a bit of a gloomy day here in Boston, but nothing we cannot handle. Okay, 3,000 feet or above, and then on the way to Wayne, let's see. I think we can just dial in 1700. Well, what am I saying? Wait. There you go, 1700. And I guess we could maybe just press the approach button now. Right, so the approach is armed. You can see the white GS there for glide slope. So the glide slope has been armed, but it is not yet captured. Speed is going back a little bit, so that is to be expected. Our touchdown speed should be 138 knots. At Focus, they want us to be at 170.
2,500.
So maybe is this something I should change? Let me just check. If I choose 138, no, not 238. 138 slash add the runway. Execute. Glide slope is still armed. Speed is dropping. Let's have a little sip and look outside of the window. There's the airport. We're at 6.1 nautical miles. So I think we will just extend the landing gear now. Glide slope is now armed, So we are on the glide slope. 4.2 nautical miles from the runway. So does it work like this? Do we just dial in 138? That's one bit I'm not super sure about, but I'm going to do it anyway. Not sure if I need to press something after dialing it in, but let's first dial it in so it's sitting there. Doesn't look... Can I press this maybe? I think so.
1,000.
So it's on speed, so 1,000 feet. Flap. What is the next one? 5. So this is not going all that great. Let's do some speed brake. Okay. So we're definitely going fast here. Turning off the autopilot. So how...
Approaching low terrain. Too low terrain bumps. Too low.
This is a
Terrain.
rough landing.
Too low terrain. Too low.
But I am determined on setting it down now.
20.
Looks like touchdown. I'm not really sure. Oops. Okay, that's definitely touchdown. Reverse is out. Until about 60 knots. So engines go to idle again, flaps can go up. I'm just not really sure how to disengage the autopilot disconnect sound. I thought it was this one here. Accept, cancel, reject, that's not it. Flight slope, inhibit. This is the lighting section, anti-ice. No, not really sure how to mute the sound. Okay, I've pressed the autopilot button again. Let's do this again. Okay, it's interesting. Alright, man. Welcome at Boston. Well, welcome to Boston, I should say. So let's get the stalker off the runway. The auto brake is still on, so let's turn that off. Yeah, so it was a bit of a rough landing, or rather actually a rough approach to landing, I don't know. But interesting nonetheless. Looks like we made it down in one piece after about 7 hours flying. And yeah, I just need to manage the, I guess I did not manage the speed settings all that properly. So that's definitely something I will look into, how to properly manage the speed settings, so you know you do not come down with like a high energy approach, you know. So here we are. So the landing lights can go off, and then it's really nice, you can just do it in one click, you know. I'm not really sure, I did not check where to park, and to be honest, I'm getting tired, so you know, I don't think I'm going to actually really bother now. Just park it somewhere. Like these look like medium size aircraft here. It looks like there's an aircraft there in the back looking a little funny. Not sure if you can see. Oops, let's do not forget to steer every now and then. So, this is Boston. So the add-on that I'm using, it will display airlines that fly to these locations that you fly to, you know. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so what's happening here? Well, that's actually the end. All right. Let's just take a right turn here, and we're probably going to touch the other aircraft, but you know. Who gives a damn? So when pulling up to the gate, it is nice to turn off the runway turn-off lights and the taxi lights, so you're not blinding anyone. Excuse me. So look at this. Alright, so let's just ignore that and just let's pretend that this is going perfectly well. As long as we do not hit the building, we'll stop. Now with regards to the parking brake, let me just check. There was some, well, issue was a big word with the parking brake. Looks like the parking brake is set. There you go. So let me just, first things first, let me take a sip. Alright. Alright, so let's check the checklist. Shut down. Hydraulic. Oh, what's this message? Checklist incomplete. Oh, like that. So it looks like the landing checklist was not completed. Let's have a look. Alright, forget about it. Normal menu. Landing. No. Normal menu. Shut down. Yeah. Hydraulic panel set. I have no clue what to do with that. Fuel pumps off. Flaps up. Parking brake set. Fuel control switches cut off. The fuel pumps, I believe they are here in the overhead. These ones. Turn off the fuel pumps. The hydraulics, I guess they just all go to the off. Like that. That one too, yep. And thank you. Parking brake is set. Fuel control switches to cut off. It's these two suckers here, and that should kill our engines as far as I know. And weather radar off. I do not believe we have a weather radar anyway. So here we are. Our left wing is merged with another aircraft that's now pulling back to make things even worse. So let's not look at that, it's just way too scary. So again, people, thank you very much for checking the channel, the video. Maybe next time we'll do a complete flight. This was obviously a very long flight, we did not do the entire flight on this stream, but this was the first flight. Me taking off the 777 and then descending and landing it. So I will be back with more flights in the Boeing 777 by PMDG. Go check it out on their website. It's only costs only like $245 million. So you know, you should get two while they're in discount. Okay, so thanks again. I'm your personal Funky Sim pilot. Thank you for checking. Everybody stay funky and see you at the next video. Bye bye.